Okay, so let's go again. So I was saying, just like when you, if you have a number, so let's say you have a fraction for, sorry, let's say we have 3/5, right? This is a fraction. And we know, let me use a half for now. Let's say we have a half, it's a simpler one. This is a fraction. And we also know that we can express this fraction as a decimal, yes? What's half as a decimal?
0.5.
0.5, right? It means that 0.5 is the same thing as a half, yes? They value the same thing. It's just a different way of expressing the same quantity. Now, in the same way, that's how fraction is. Fraction is expressing a quantity out of 100. So for a half, you're expressing it as you're expressing it out of 100. So you multiply what you want to express by 100, and the half would give you 50%. Yeah. So the point is that a fraction is not, say, a number by itself. What it is expressing a number, usually a fraction or a fraction and a whole number, or a mixed fraction out of 100. So when you have this half, just the same that you can express it in a decimal, it's the same way you can express it in a percentage. And to get that fraction into a percentage, all you have to do is to multiply it by 100. So in the same way, we can express this 3/5 as a fraction. And we established that a fraction is, express a percentage, sorry. And we express that a percentage is expressing that number as out of 100. So again, all you have to do is to multiply it by 100, and you will get what this number is as a percentage. So 5 into 5 goes one time, 5 into 100 goes 20 times, and so 3/5 expressed as a percentage, 3 times 20 is, that's 60%. Everybody understanding where I'm coming from?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
Keisha, I'm doing this
Yes,
particularly
miss.
for you, so let me know if you're there, right?
Yes, miss.
Great.
Thanks.
So that is a shortened version of what a percentage is. It is expressing a number, whether it's a fraction or a mixed fraction, out of 100. The reason why I don't say like a whole number by itself is because a whole number is going to be 100%. So if it is, so 100 would represent the full whole, right? And then anything less than the whole is a fraction of that. So let me give you an example. If I'm looking at one, and one is my whole number, right? If I turn it into a fraction, it's 1/1. And if I'm going to take the percentage of that, all it's going to be is 100%. So you can think of 100% as, if you're doing a test, for example, you get everything right, that's 100%. But if you get one wrong, you get 90 something percent. And if you get two wrong, you understand? So the fractions, so 100% represents the whole. And then the fractions now are what we can calculate as the different varying percentages. All right. Everybody get that so far?
Yes, miss.
All right, so let's get to work now on some basic consumer arithmetic. So what we're going to do today, we're going to just go through the basic concepts of quite a few of the topics. And then on Monday, you can have the weekend to, work some questions and stuff like that. And then Monday, we go into some more questions, some more difficult questions, some more reasoning type questions. All right. Let's go. We're going to start off with discount and tax. So we're going to start there. Discounts. Don't like this pen. I don't know which one is the one I like. And taxes. All right. So say you walk into a clothes store and you see a dress, for argument's sake, and it's that dress, say it's being sold, its original price is say $200, cheap dress, yes, and and they say to you that you're getting a discount of 15%. What does that mean to you? Not the max per se, but what does it mean when you walk into a store and you see something being sold on discount? What does that say to you?
That you'll be getting it for less.
That you're getting it for less. All right. So I just want us to establish these basic things, because once the questions start get a little bit more complex now, you need to, just have these things under your belt. So let's talk about a tax now. If 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 you go into, so when you go to the Chinaman shop, for example, you go to a wholesale, um you just do the prices and you pay what you see, right? So if the Chinaman say this costs $200, it's at $200 you gotta pay. Now if you go into a supermarket, if it say costs $200, when you go up to the cashier, you're going to pay tax. What does that tax mean? So let us say that you have an item that costs $200 and you have a tax. GCT in Jamaica now is 16%, I think. So let's say you have a tax of 16%. What does that mean?
Going to pay more.
That means you're going to pay more.
Mm.
All right. So the basic concept that I'm sure you know already, I'm just going as basic as I can for the benefit of everyone, is that when you have an item on discount, you are paying less for the item. And whenever there is a tax, it doesn't matter what the tax is, right? Doesn't matter what the tax is called, as long as it is a tax, you're paying more. And I point out that it doesn't matter what the tax is, because in different countries, you have different types of tax. Yes? So it doesn't matter if it is a VAT or if it's a HST or if it's a GCT, it don't matter, none at all. As long as you appreciate that it's a tax, you know that well then. The point of this is that you're going to end up paying more. All right. So let's go again. If we're considering this dress over here that we said we bought for $200, that we said we went in the store, we saw it for $200, and we were told that we can get that dress at 15% discount. It means that you're going to be paying 15% less than you're going to be paying 15% less than what it is cost. So the original price is $200. And there are a few things that you can be asked in a question. For example, so you can be asked, what is the discount price? And I'm going to work out, so you can see all of them. You can be asked, what is the discount price? And you can be asked, what is the amount of discount? Right? So the discount price is actually what you will pay out of pocket, and the amount of discount is how much less you're going to pay. That is how much you're going to save when you buy the dress. So let's work out just a rough workout and let us see. The original price is $200. So we have $200 here. That's the original price over one. And our discount was how much percent? Hmm?
Was 15%.
15%.
15%. So our discount was 15%, right? So what if I set it up, if I set up my question like this, what I'm actually finding is 15 over 100, sorry, because this is 15%, right? 15 over 100. I'm finding 15% of 200. So the number that I'm going to get is a 15%, which is the amount of discount. All right. That's the number that I'm going to get. Give me a moment, please. All right. Sorry about that. All right. So continuing. So the number that I'm going to find here when I do 15% of 200 is what 15% is. And remember that they had said that 15% is the discount I'm going to get. So that works out to be 100. I can cancel that. You remember these canceling from infraction, right? Yes.
Okay.
This is not new to you guys, right? Me cross canceling. That's not new.
Yeah.
Great. So 2 times 15 is
So
30. So this is $30. So you know that this represents the amount of discount you're going to get. So this $30 is the amount of discount. It's 15% of 200. So how would I find the discount price?
we're going to subtract the discount, the amount of discount from the original price.
Everybody agree with that? Anybody has any different way to work it, or any different way they think it should work?
I
So that is
understand this
correct.
way, but
Alison, yes, go ahead.
yes, it can also work another way. I understand this way also, but normally I would do like the discount price. I say that percentage is out of 100, so I would say 100 take away
Right.
15%, and then
And then you
work
work
out.
it that way.
And
All right, that's fine. I'm going to work it that way also afterwards. But I'm showing this way first because depending on what you're asked, yes, you may, depending on what you ask, you may need to work this out, right? Because they may ask you what is the amount of discount. And either way you work it, you're still going to have to do some subtraction. So I'm showing you both ways, and then you can choose the way that is most comfortable for you, right?
okay,
So we're
okay,
working this one first. So this is 30. And then if you want to know the amount of discount, you go $200, which is the original price, minus $30, and you're going to be paying $170 for your new dress. All right? Everybody understanding? If you don't understand, I want you to talk up, you hear me? Even if I don't ask if you're not understanding. All right. So we're going to no. So we're going to work it a second way now, depending on what you're comfortable with. So in the second way, we're looking at the same information. Original cost is 200. The discount price is well, the original price is 200. The discount percentage is 15%. Now, now the full price, so this 200. So this $200 represents a full price. So that means that it represents 100% of the price, right? Now, if I'm getting a discount of 15, would I use? Yeah, 15%, it means that I'm not going to be paying this full price anymore. I'm going to be paying a piece of the price, 15% less of the price. So my new price, my discount price would be my 100% that I'm going to pay minus that I should have paid the original price minus 15%, which is what? That is what, 85%? So in
Yes.
a discount situation, you're no longer paying the full cost. You're paying a lower percentage of the cost, right? So to find your discount price, you can just easily go ahead and say 200, which is your original price, times 85%, which is 85 over 100. And we can use this 85% to find our discount price because we already established that that is the percentage we're going to pay. That's a percentage of the price we're going to pay if we're buying it on discount. So you just go ahead and work it out just the same. 100 into 100 one time, and that goes two times. And then 2 times 85 gives you 170.
170. Yes.
170. Great. Now, again, depending on what your question asks you for, if they ask you for discount price, then this is fine. But if it asks you for the amount of discount, this method does not give you the amount of discount. It just gives you the discount price. So you're going to still have to subtract to find the discount price. So you would subtract the discount price from the original price so you can find the amount of discount that is charged. Everybody understanding?
Yes,
So you
miss.
would
Yes,
say
please.
200 minus 170
Equals
equals to
30.
$30, right? Either way you choose to work it, it's fine. You just have to understand the information that you're getting from both of them so you can know, when to when to use which one. Or if you're using a preferred one, that you probably have to minus sometime or do some more depending on what the question is asking. Any questions so far?
No, miss.
No, miss.
All right, so we're just going to shuffle over to tax, just get in the basics before we start working some more complex questions. So we're doing this tax now. So as we said, the tax is an addition. It's an addition to what you would ordinarily pay. So if I'm buying this item for $200 in the supermarket, that's the original price, and they're telling me that I'm going to have a tax of 16%. I can find the amount of tax, trying to find a perfect pen, but yes, I can find the amount of tax, and I can also find the price after tax, right? So the amount of tax would be this 16%. Yes, because that is the percent of tax you're going to be paying. So it would be 200, that's the original price, times 16%, 16 over 100, 16%. We'll go ahead and cancel. And 2 times 16 gives you what?
32.
$32. So this is the amount of tax you're going to be paying. It's not the total price that you're going to be paying, because the total price would be the original price. So total price would be original price plus the tax that you're going to be paying, which is 200 is the original price, and the tax is $32. Gives you 232 $232. Everybody clear so far?
Yes,
Yes,
miss.
miss.
All right. We can also work it the alternative way, which is to go about and saying $200 represents 100% of the cost. That's the full cost. But when you are being asked to pay a tax of 16%, you are no longer going to be paying 100%. You're going to be paying 116% of the cost. So if you want to find out what the amount you're going to be paying after tax, you say 200 over 1 times 116%, which is that. You cancel, and then 2 times 100, 2 times 116 should give you $232, which is the total cost. And if you want to figure out the amount of tax that you're going to be paying, it would be $232 minus 200, which is the same $32. All right. So everybody is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions before we start working working examples?
Yes, that's good.
All right. So Shana, I want to move on very quickly. Amoy, Allison, Nikisha.
Yes, miss, I'm good.
Me sometime I hardly can keep up with the class because I'm at work. So it's good that you're recording so I can go back over it.
All right, no problem. All right, great. So let's work some questions now. I'm going to share a different screen. I'm going to share the screen with some working on some questions. All right, so I want you to, are you seeing a new screen?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so I want you to work that first question for me, please. This one, work example one. Can you work that for me? Give you a few minutes. Everybody should at least be working on B now, right? Yeah.
Yes, miss.
I'll give you 2 more minutes to work on B. You should be finished with A quickly.
Yeah, done.
All right, so let's go through these. Whoa, what did I do? So let's go through these questions. Pretty fairly simple one. So before I go, anybody want to tell me what they got for A and B?
Yeah.
A and B. What did you get?
All right, for B, I got 1,840.
So you got one thousand eight
And
forty for B.
yeah. And
And for
for
A.
A, I have 1,280.
Okay. Anybody else want to share what they had, what they got for that question? All right. So let's go. Let's see what's happening here. So for A, so it's A or B, so you get 1,840 from.
Oh, no, I need to mix them up. Sorry. A is, wait, Mr.
All
Just
right. So
got
you're
them down
being
on the paper. Oh,
So you're being
Jesus.
asked to you're being asked to say what is the total amount a customer pays for the television set. And if you look at this here, this is the sale price. This is the sale price plus
Oh,
you have to pay the plus you have
the
to pay
tax.
the value added tax. So this is the sale price, plus you have to pay the tax, which is 15% of 1600. So what you would end up with is 840. Now you see this portion over here that says 15 over 100 times 1,600. This is what we would usually work first separately, which is 15% of 1,600, and then we add it to the original price. The difference here is that they're just doing everything in one step, right? So you can do what is comfortable for you. So, but usually we would work 15% of 1,600 first, get our 240, and then we add it to 1,600 and get 1,840. All right. So this one I think was fairly straightforward. Did anybody had trouble with A? All right, nobody had trouble with A. So let's look at B now. B says the sale price of 1,600 is 20% less than the original price, right? Meaning that you're getting a 20% discount when you pay $1,600. So they're asking you to calculate the original cost, the original price of the television set. So what you have here
Oh,
so, so what you have here is what they gave you was a sale price, meaning that it's on sale. You're getting a discount for it. Yes. So they're saying that this price that you're paying, the sale price, is really a 20% discount you're getting. Right? Everybody's seeing that? 20% less than the original price. And this $1,600 represent 80% of the price. So see here down here, so 80% of the original price is $1,600. Everybody following me so far?
yes, miss.
So you just have to read the question because you don't want to be, you don't want to fumble and do the wrong thing. So the sale price is 20% less than the original price, which means that the sale price is 80%. So that's this first line right here that I have highlighted. Yeah. So 80% of the original price is $116. And then I know that you did making subject of the formula. So that's all that's done right here. You have 80%, you can rewrite that as 80 over 100. So that's all that is done in this second line here. They just move from 80% to 80 over 100 because that's another way to write 80%. Everybody following? So that's all that's
Okay.
changed in this second line. 80% of P is 1,600. And then they make P the subject of the formula, which means that, you carry this over here. When you make P the subject of the formula, then you get $2,000. So the original sale price was $2,000. Everybody
Mm.
following? Now, what you see over here is that this is reciprocated. You had 80 over 100 here, and over here it's reciprocated. And that's because, you're carrying it across the equal sign. So the opposite will happen. It will be reciprocated. If you're not comfortable doing this flipping right here, what you can do is just work out 80 over 100, and you will end up getting 0.8. So you can cancel these two zeros. 8 over 10 will be 0.8. And then you can just carry that 0.8 over instead of having to carry over the fraction and flip the fraction. You following me?
Yes, miss.
No. Right. So what I want you to appreciate is that the ones that we worked earlier was simple, right? You got it's very simple because you needed to have gotten the principle as to how to go about doing this. And then you have to go about now applying that same principle to questions, but they're not always going to be worded that straightforwardly. All right. So anybody had a challenge with sorting out B or have a challenge with the explanation for B? When it comes to, and I always tell
I
students
had a
with
getting to the answer.
so that again,
I had the challenge getting to the answer for B.
okay, because you never know what to do and how to carry it over and them things,
Yes,
right?
yes, miss.
So two things I would say to you. One thing that you're learning from doing consumer arithmetic is that the other topics that you learn, you don't learn them in isolation, right? You're using percentage right here, and you see that you're using making subject of the formula right here. When you look at a question, you need to ask yourself, what math skill do I have? What math topic do I have that can apply to this question? And in this case here, it is completing, not completing the square, it is making a particular item the subject of the formula. The other thing I always tell students is that consumer arithmetic is probably one of the easier things for you to appreciate because you deal with these things on a daily basis, right? So when you're working on a question like this, you just talk to yourself about it. You just reason it out because it really is one of those topics that is the most practical maths thing. Like when you do some algebra, are you asking yourself, what am I gonna use algebra and do? Ever? You understand? You don't ever encounter that in consumer arithmetic because it is just plain. It is something that is practical and it's already in front of you. So reason it out, talk to yourself about it, and apply the basic stuff, and you will get to your answer. All right. So we're going to work on another example. All right. What am I doing? All right. So this one at the bottom of your screen, you can work that. The monthly water bill for domestic users is calculated for information shown in the table below. And then it says calculate the total amount of a bill for a month when a customer uses 3,850 gallons. So I'll give you 2 minutes to work that out. Right? So how did you go about approaching this one now? Let me hear your thoughts. Hello, folks.
What I did,
Nobody gonna do it?
Miss, I started out by multiplying the 3,850 gallons
Mm-hmm.
by 20 cents.
Okay. Why you do that?
Then I miss,
Why you do that?
miss because it says that per gallon
Mm-hmm.
of water costs 20 cents.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Went ahead and added the fixed charge to it.
Okay. So basically, um, so it's 350 plus 3,850 um times 20 cents. So what you do here when you multiply the 20 cents by the 3,850 gallons is you're saying that for each gallon I'm paying 20 cents, right? Which is $0.2. So you're multiplying this to see how much you're paying for the amount of gallons that you use. So you are using 3,850 gallons. So you're paying 20 cents for each of these gallons, right? So that's why you do this multiplication portion right here. You're seeing how much it is that you are going to be paying for that 3,850 gallons. If I am your neighbor and I would have used 400 gallons, I would have multiplied my 400 gallons by 20 cents to see how much I would pay. So everybody pays this portion here based on how much they use. So that would equal to $770. That's what you pay for the water you use. But then you add the fixed charge that is placed up here. So right. And it's a similar way that your water bill is done. The fixed charge that they charge for stuff like sewage and them type of things. So you add it to that because that is how the pricing is done. Any questions? No questions. Number 3. All right, so we haven't done hire purchase yet. So I'll just skip over that. So we haven't done hire purchase as yet. We're going to hire purchase afterwards. All right, so let's go ahead now. We're going to do just the first three, work out those, and then we'll move on to our next subtopic. So let me just put it up a little. Work out the first three questions, 1 to 3. And then we'll work them out and then we'll move on. We can move on now. All right, so tell me what answer you got for number one, please.
1,410 I got.
I'm just going to switch my share. I can't find my thing. Just give me a moment, please. I'm going to share I'm going to work them out, so I want to share that.
Okay.
All right, so you said you get 1,000 something something. Let's work that out and see. 1,000 how much?
$410.
Okay, all right, so let's work that out and see how much it goes. So the score charges a GCT of 17.5%. So GCT is 17.5%. And what is the total cost on a shirt? That costs $1,200. All right. So I'm going to work it since it just wants a total cost, I'm going to just work it to say 100 is the original cost, and they're asking for 17.5%. So I'm going to be paying 117.5% for my shirt. So then I can go ahead and find 117% of my $1,200 shirt. 2 zeros cancel 2 zeros. I'm using 100. So then my answer is going to be 12 times 117.5. And that should give me the same as you. I'm going to just work it out. 12 times 117. 1,410, you say you're getting us.
Yes, miss.
Great. So that's that. Anybody didn't get that? All right, so let's work the next one quickly. In a sale, all prices are reduced by 30%. So we're calculating the sale price of these three items. So the percent discount is 30%. So we can apply that 30% to all of them. They're asking for the sale price. So since they're just asking for the sale price, I can go ahead and I can say the sale price is going to be 100% minus the 30%, which is 70% of the cost. Now, if you work it by finding the 30% first and then subtracting it, that's also fine. All right. I'm just choosing to work it this way. All right. So let's go. The first one is coat that costs $500. And I'm paying only 70% of the cost for it. 5 times 70, that's what, 350. Did you guys get that?
Yes, miss.
For the second one is a t-shirt for $1,200. $1,200. And I'm paying the same 70% because everything in the store is marked by that, marked down. So it's 12 times 70. How much is that? How much did you guys get? But never do it. 12
Eight,
times
sorry, 840.
840. 840. Great. And then the last one is a football shirt. That you're going to be getting for, it costs $2,200, but you're getting it for 30% off, which means you're paying 70% of the price. So your answer is, what's the answer? 22.
1,540.
1,000 what?
540.
540.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So that is that. Anybody didn't get these three answers?
Yes, miss.
These are pretty basic. These are not testing much, but the other, we're going to get questions on Friday. We just, not Friday, Monday. That will be a little bit more complex. We're just getting the basics down, trying to cover as many of those as possible, and then we start working questions. So today's the easy class. And the last question says, a 12% service charge is added to the cost of a food in a restaurant. So if you order a meal that costs $2,700, what is the total cost? So you are not just paying 100% for your meal. You're paying the 100%, which is what your meal costs, right? Plus you're paying the service charge, which is 12%. So for your meal, you're going to have to be paying 112% for it. So your meal is 2,700 Jamaican dollars, and you're paying 112% for it. So you're paying total. How much did you get for this?
$3,024.
Okay, 27 times 112, $3,024. All right, excellent. So we're going to just shuffle over a bit to profit and loss. As I said, we're just covering the basics of the topic, and then we're going to work some more complex questions on Monday. So profit and loss now. Again, another one that you can easily relate to when you're working these questions, you know, a simple conversation with yourself makes all the difference. So let's go. Let us say I own a store, right? I own a shop, supermarket, whatever it want to be. And I buy a tin of mackerel from Mr. Chin to sell. And I pay $40 for this tin of mackerel, right? And when I carry it back to my shop, because I need to make sure that I cover my costs and I'm making a little bit of money, I sell it for $85. How would you calculate? How would you find how much money I make on it? Yeah? How would you calculate how much money I make on the mackerel?
Subtract the cost price from the selling price.
Which one of them is which one?
The cost price is $40 and the selling price is $85 because
All
that
right.
is what you sold it back for.
All right. So this is where you buy it for. So you're going to find you. So the profit is what we call the profit is the money that you make, right? That's the profit. So the profit is the extra money that you make. So that profit is you're going to so and this is what you buy it for. BUY. And this is what we call a cost price. That's what it costs you to buy it, right? You, the shop owner, you, the person who is selling the thing. And what you sell it for, this is what we call the selling price. So this is the selling price, right? So to get the profit, you're going to subtract your selling price from your cost price. All right. So this is your formula. You can just jot down this formula. This is your formula for profit. All right. So let's go again now. Let us say we buy the same mackerel from Mr. Chin for $40. So we had it on the shelf to sell for $40, but we realized that months pass and it's not really selling. People don't really like this mackerel. So we want to get rid of it. So we say, you know what? I'm going to sell it for $35 then, right? That means you're selling it for less than where you're buying it. So you're not making no money, you're making a loss, right? How do you calculate that loss? This, remember this now is a price that you buy it for. So this is what we call a cost price. This is what it costs you. And this is the selling price. This is the price that you sold it for. So let's go ahead and tell me how you would find the loss for this.
In return, I'll subtract the selling price from the cost price.
Okay, so you're saying you're subtract the selling price from the cost price. So this would be cost price minus
selling price.
selling price. All right. So this is the formula for your loss. All right. Great. So I need you to take that down. What I want you to do now is all questions are not going to come and say, you know, what is the loss and what is the selling price? What is the loss or what is the profit? So what I want you to do, you've learned how to find the subject of the formula. I want you to find the subject of the formula for profit. I want you to find the selling price, the formula for selling price, and the formula for cost price. And for loss, I want you to do the same thing. So rearrange these formulae to give me a formula for selling price and cost price for profit, and selling price and cost price for loss. Do that for me, please.
Repeat what you just said.
All right. So I may come with a question and say, you made a profit of 20% having bought an item for $40. What is the selling price? Now, this formula is not for selling price. This formula is for profit, right? So how you would find the selling price, because you have the profit and the cost price, is to rearrange the formula to make selling price the subject of the formula, just like what you were doing earlier with sir, subject of the formula. No,
Right.
so I want you to rearrange both of these formula for profit, rearrange it so you can make selling price the subject, and rearrange it to make cost price the subject. And for loss, do the same thing.
All right. Means for the for the profit, what I will do, I will say the selling price is equal to the profit plus the cost price.
All right, so let's work that and see how it works out. So basically, Alison, are you following? I don't hear you, so I just want to make sure that you're following.
No, but go ahead and do the
You're not
example.
following? All right, were you at the class of subject of the formula with sir?
Miss, I don't even remember because I missed out on a couple of classes before the Christmas holiday.
Okay, all right.
Just started back, when was it on Monday with the
Okay.
sets?
All right. So we're making selling price subject of the formula here. So we want selling price to be by itself. So profit is here. Let me just get a different color. We have profit. So what you would do is to carry over. I know sir don't like to carry over, but you carry over this across the equal sign here. And the negative sign will be a positive. So it would be plus cost price equals to selling price. So if you're asked to find the selling price in a situation where you made a profit, this is how you'd find it. Profit plus cost price equals selling price. Clear, fair enough?
Okay.
Or how about the cost price? If suppose you're asked to find the cost price.
We subtract the selling price from the profit.
So the challenge of that is, if you do that, let me just. All right. So if you do that, if you simply carry this, that's what you're saying, right? If you simply carry this over the equal sign over here, you're going to end up with a negative cost price, and you don't want that, right? So you need to do it in such a way that the cost price is positive, right? You don't want a negative cost price. So I'll do it in a two-step way, sort of a roundabout way. So I'm going to take over the cost price across the equal sign to get it to be positive. So cost price equals to, no. This profit is over here. So cost price plus profit equals to selling price, because all I've done is carry the cost price across, yeah? And then I'm going to move the profit now.
Abby, come to grandma. Come to grandma. What me do and go to grandma?
All right.
If you're no longer sharing.
Say that again?
No, you're not sharing anymore.
Oh, I'm not sharing anymore. Okay.
No.
So you can have them. So percentage profit and loss, again, with these formulas right here, all you're getting is a dollar value. So you're getting how much profit, how much loss. Am I getting $10 profit, 20, 30, $40? However, you also have you also can find percentage profit and loss in terms of what percent am I losing, what, you know, or what percent am I making from this transaction. So I'm going to give you the formula for those ones, and then we're going to just apply those formulas by working some questions. So let's go. So for percentage profit, the formula is selling price minus cost price. And this should look very familiar because this is the formula for profit, selling price minus cost price. But you're putting that over cost price because you're wanting to find what percentage of the money you spent, of the cost of the thing, you know, did you make or did you lose? Well, in this case, what you made. So it's selling price over cost price, and it's a percentage. So you're multiplying it by 100 or 100 over 1, right? And for percentage loss, it's simple, the formula for loss, which is cost price minus selling price. This is the formula for loss over cost price times 100 over 1. All right? So pretty simple. And remember, we spoke about finding percentage being a fraction. Here, what you want to know is what fraction of the cost price, you know, did you make as a profit? That's why you have it over, both of them over the cost price. For profit, it's just a formula, and for loss, it's just a formula over cost price times 100. All right, so are we ready to work a couple questions? And just like when we had the other formula a while ago, we could rearrange the formula. You can do the same thing if your question asks. So if your question gives you the percentage profit and ask you what's the selling price, it's you can still put it put in the you can still substitute the values you get and rearrange this formula. You can rearrange any formula at all, right? Any formula. That's why you learn how to rearrange them. Any formula, you can go ahead and rearrange them. All right, so let's go ahead with a question. I'm just finding a question and I'm going to share my screen with the question. Any questions while I'm finding the question? All right, so let's go.
I don't think I understand it 100%, but I'll try.
All right, so we can work the question and then after the question, we have to tell me which part you don't understand or so you see?
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's just the one before this.
All right, so let's do number 6. Number 6 is a profit and loss question. So let's work with number 6. All right, so let's attempt this. Pretty straightforward. So we're going to break it down. So this clothing manufacturer, this is somebody making clothes. He determines that for anything that he is going to manufacture, any clothes he's going to produce, he's going to sell it by adding 32% to what it cost him to make the clothes, right? So it's going to, so basically he's going to make 32%. And he don't establish that. He say no matter. If I make a shirt, 32% more. If I make a pant, 32% more. Whatever it costs me to make it, I got at 32% on it, right? So it's saying to you now, calculate the selling price of a dress that costs $2,500 to produce. So how do we go about that one? Is the original price. So before we go there, what is it? So all right, so this is a profit question. And we know this is a profit question because the manufacturer is selling it by adding some money to it. That means I'm going to make more than what it cost him in the first place, right? So this is a profit question. So I'm going to start out by simply putting my formula for profit down. And I'm going to be guided by this. Profit equals to selling price minus cost price, except that this one now it is a percent, right? So it says it determines the selling price of items by adding 32%. So I'm going to be using the percent profit formula. So the percent profit is selling price minus cost price all over cost price times 100. So that is the first thing. That's how I approach it. And, I would advise you to approach it in a similar way. Decide or determine from the question, is this a profit question or is this a loss question? And, you may be saying, that is so basic, but if you look at this question, it doesn't outrightly say profit. You understand? And so questions are like that where you're going to have to read and figure out. So that's the first step. Figure out profit or loss. But so this is a profit question. It's a percent profit question. So I've written down my percentage profit formula. And then I'm going to see now what I can put into that formula. So the clothing manufacturer determines the selling price. So the selling price is given by adding 32% to the production cost. So I know that the percent profit that he's going to make is going to be 32%. So percent profit, I'm just going to put them down over here. Percent profit, I'm going to make 32%. All I'm doing is just pulling information from the worded question to production cost, right? So we don't really know. Calculate the selling price. So it's asking to calculate the selling price. So we know that selling price is what we don't know of a dress that costs $2,500 to produce. So the cost price we know is $2,500. So we can go ahead and use our profit formula. We have the percent profit, we have the selling price, so we can rumble. Are you following so far, Allison?
Yes, miss.
Great. So percent profit, just drop that in right here. That's 32% equals to selling price is, we don't know, minus the cost price is 2,500 over the cost price is 2,500 times 100. So, so this is a formula as it is. What we need to do now is to get it to have the selling price as the subject of the formula. So can you please solve this formula for me, please? Particularly you, Shauna, because you were here. Alison, you can attempt it just the same.
Okay.
So I'm going to just solve it off here first while I'm waiting on you guys to solve it. I'm going to get up for a moment. Just give me about 2 minutes. By the time I come back, you guys should finish. Right. So what that means is that you're going to be paying 100%, which is the full price, plus you're going to be paying 32%. So you're going to be paying 132% of the cost for this dress, right? All right. So you're paying 132% of the cost. So we can just go ahead and say $2,500, which is what the production price is, times 132 over 100, because this is a percentage, so it have to be over 100, and then you cancel down 25 times 132 should give you
3,300.
3,300. All right, so this is that, right? Another way we can approach it is the way that Alison had approached it. So I just showing you these ways before the formula, because these ways are commonsensical ways. So if you prefer a quote unquote commonsensical way, a reasoning way, you can work it these ways. If you prefer to drop your numbers in the formula, you can also do that once you know the formula and you have the data to put in the formula. So you come here, so now you're saying, all right, he wants to make a profit of 32%, which means that I'm going to be paying 32% more than what the cost price is. So you can go ahead and find out what is that 32%, how much money is that 32%. So you would say this is the $2,500, right? And you want to find out how much is 32%. So for this dress, what is 32% going to work out to? And you have 225 times 32.
Okay, so it's ready. The 800.
Okay, gives you 800. And of course, now since this is what, this is what his markup is 32%, you can just add it now to the cost price of the dress,
Okay.
which will give you
3,300.
3,300. All right. So Alison, you're okay, right?
Okay, miss. Yes, miss.
All right. So we're going back to the formula now. So tell me what you say you did now. So we have a 32%. So I think you went ahead and you canceled.
The
I
2,500.
I was talking without the thing on. So the selling price, the
Okay.
cost price was what? 2,500.
Yes, miss.
100 plus the profit was what? 32
32,
over
100.
100, and you should get
2,005 times 132 over 100. Cancel down. And cancel down. I get 25 times 130 plus 3,300.
all right. So the exercise here is in rearranging the formula, and this is why Sir had taught it to you before, because especially in consumer arithmetic and measurement, you rearrange formulae a lot. So you have to sort of flex your muscle and make sure that you're proficient at rearranging formulae so that you can, manipulate a formula based on the information that you get. All right. I think we spent a little longer than
Okay, miss.
normal on this one, but that's fine. Let's do number, what we did a while ago, number 6. Let's do number 8 quickly. Oh, it's so late. It's 11 o'clock. Let's do number 8. Giving you just 2 minutes. All right, so we're working number 8, right? So I'm just going to share, I'm just going to just to change onto so you can see what I'm writing. We can move on from there. All right. So number 8, I'm going to start by just picking out the information that we have. So it says an electronic game is sold for $1,998. So it is sold for that. So its selling price is $1,998, right? And we know the seller makes up 11% profit. So the profit percent is 11%. The question is, how much did the seller pay for the game? So we need to find the cost price, right? So we're going to work it 2 ways. So let's go. The first way we're going to work it is by the formula way. So if we were to rearrange the original profit percent formula, that original one that I gave you before, you would end up with cost price equals to selling price. I think it's times 100. Let me see. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Okay. Times 100 over 100 plus the profit percent, right? So that would be the formula if you would have rearranged it for cost price, right? So now all you have to do with the formula is to put in the relevant information. So selling price is 1998 times 100 over 100 plus 11, yeah? And what you get on the top? 100, what you get on the top? 19,199,800 over 111. Can you work that out for me, please?
Um,
Plug that in the calculator for me. Let me see. 199800 divided by 111. So what I got was $1,800. So that is the cost price that I got working it by the formula method. So I'm going to shift gears now and work it another method. So by the reasoning method, I'm calling it. So you have the selling price and you have the profit percent. So what you know is that 11% of this selling price is profit, right? Because this whole thing, so if you look at it, the selling price would be the 100%, which would be the regular price, plus the 11%, which is profit. So we know that 11% out of it is profit. So if we can find 11%, we can know that that is profit, and then we can find the cost price. So we can say 1998 times 11%, which is that. This is a profit finding. So if we work that out, you can plug that in a calculator for me. 1998 times 11 equals to, so 1998 times 11 equals to 21978 over 100, which is going to be 219.78. And then if you subtract this,
From 190,
1998 minus 219.78.
gives you 1,778 point.
Something is wrong. Something is wrong. I have to figure it out. Give me a moment. Continue. All right, so it's recording now. So this is the formula for hire purchase. So you need to know this formula, but of course, we need to, every question not going to ask you about hire purchase to put in, plug in the formula. So we have to do some talking to understand what it's about so we can then properly work the thing, right? So when you buy something on hire purchase, usually they require a deposit. Now, this deposit here, you know, they can give it to you as a figure, like they can say $200 deposit or $300 deposit, or they can give it to you as a percentage. So it can be an amount, and it can be a percentage, right? And of course, if they give it to you as a percentage, you're going to have to then go about finding the amount if you need to work out the formula. So usually you have to pay a deposit. In this day and age, sometimes they have higher purchase plans that require 0% down, which means no deposit, right? But generally speaking, you would have to pay a deposit. So you pay a small amount, and then the balance, the rest of the money now is broken up into monthly payments. So whatever is left, so let us say we're buying a stove for, where's my cursor? But I would problem no, yeah. Yes. Let us say we buy a stove for $250. And they say, all right, you're going to have to pay a deposit of 10%. So we would find 10% of 250, which would give you what?
25.
25. So you would have to pay down $25, right? Because them say you have to pay down 10%. So the $25 would be your deposit that you have right here. Yes. But the balance of it now, you're going to have to pay over time in monthly payments. So what will happen is the balance of this now is going to be 250 minus 25. I think that's so wrong. I set it up. Set it up
$225.
very mathematical and 25 goes here, right? Which is $225.
20.
But that $225 is over here. So, but you're not going to pay it one time. You're going to pay this $225 in parts, which is usually monthly part. So every month you pay a particular amount. And this $225 usually attract some amount of interest, of course, because this $225 is basically a loan. You know, pay it in, but you're going with the people in stove. So this part here is basically a loan where they must say, all right, take this stove and you can go and pay with little fee. But because you have to pay little, you have to go pay a little interest because I trust you with the stove. So you have to pay me a little interest. So this part over here, the total monthly payments attract interest and you pay it in parts. Now, how much you pay is dependent on how many parts and what's the interest. So, or you determine the amount of parts. Sometimes they might say it's 2 years, 18 months, 1 year, whatever the cost, whatever the case is. So that is a general idea of hire purchase. I just want to express that general idea for you to understand. And so what you would do then is, let us say, for this imaginary stove that costs $25, we know we have $225. After we pay the 10% deposit, we're going to pay $225. We have $225 left to pay off. And the store says, all right, I'm giving this to you for 1 year. You can pay it down 1 year, but you're going to have to pay 15%, right? So it means that every month you pay amount of money and 15% goes on it. So what you can do is you can figure out first how much should you pay per month. That is without the interest. So you would just divide this 225 by 12 because 1 year is 12 months. Yes, everybody following?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
And I'm doing this just arbitrarily, you know, so it's done in a book. So maybe the answers them kind of funny. So 225 divided by 12 gives you $18.75, but you still have to add your interest to it, right? Because you have to pay the people them interest. So you'd have to put your $18.75 times, I'm just going to put 115 because we just do this interest, right? This is the extra 15% interest you're paying. And so that would be, let me just work that out, 18.75 times 115 is 2156.25 divided by
$1.
100. So that is every month you're going to pay
$21.
$21.56, right? So that is the idea behind hire purchase. You are buying something on loan, an appliance or whatever, on loan. You are required to pay a deposit. You pay that deposit upfront. You have to come with that cash. You pay that deposit upfront, and then the remaining balance you pay it over a specified period of time, and it attracts a particular amount of interest rate. So everybody is clear on what that on what hire purchase is in general? Yes, no?
In general, yes.
In general, yes. So we're going to work about 2 questions before we leave today. I'm just find them. All right. So here we go. Just going to switch my share now so that you can see the question. So let's work this question. Example number 3. So we're working this one together. It says, and again, if you notice, and which is why I always stress more than anything else, just understanding what the question is about. Because if you notice this question, in nowhere it says higher purchase. Do you understand? In the question itself, it's a higher purchase. It's only down here, so now it's a higher purchase price. So I always stress understanding the question because that is most important, right? You can't go in an exam SWOT and them thing. They have to be immersed in the information. So the only way to learn it is to learn it properly. So this a printer is advertised for sale $84,000. A discount of 12% is given if it is bought for cash. So if you're buying it for cash, if you come with the $84,000, you get a little discount of 12%. However, just say you don't have the $84,000, you can still buy it on hire purchase by paying a deposit of $29,400, and then you pay 24 monthly payments of $2,300 each. So then you're asked to calculate the cash price. So let's start looking at the solution. The cash price for someone, cash, if you're buying it cash, remember the first sentence says, if you're buying it cash, you get a discount of 12%. So the cash price would be the $84,000 minus the 12% discount. So however you want to calculate it, here they calculate it all at once. Usually we calculate this first and then subtract it from the $84,000. Or you can say 12 from 100 is 88%. You multiply by 88%, you're going to get the same answer. So they do it that way over here. So they do that the second way, they did it over here. 88% of 84 because you're getting 12% discount. So that's 88% of the cost you're paying. Whichever way you work it, you're getting you're going to pay $73,920 for it if you buy it cash. Everybody clear on that?
Yes, miss.
Good. Higher purchase price now. Remember what I'm saying, the higher purchase workout. You pay a deposit of $29,400 and then you pay 24 monthly payments of $2,300 each. So the higher purchase, if you use the higher purchase formula, which says higher purchase is equal to the deposit plus the total monthly payments, we end up with this. The deposit from the question is $29,400 and the total monthly payments, 24 payments of $2,300 each. So if you work out that, you end up paying $84,600, right? And then they ask you, how much do you save? What's the difference between buying it cash and buying it higher purchase? All you have to do is to subtract how much you pay for it in higher purchase and how much you pay for it if you buy it cash. And that answer is $10,680. All right. So this one is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Questions? No question?
No, miss.
All right, so let me find another question that we can work out. Higher purchase question, where is it? All right, number 4. So attempt number 4 for me, please. Attempt number 4 here. I'll give you a couple minutes and then. So I'm going to just change my share screen for now. So are you seeing my other screen?
Yes, miss. Miss, I'm moving away from the laptop for a minute, but you can go
No
ahead.
problem. All right. What is wrong with me? All right, so let's see what information we have here. It says that this printer, no, that's not true. A computer is for the cash price is $696. So the cash price, let's put that there, equals to $696. If you're buying it on hire purchase, you're going to pay, well, the hire purchase, you need a deposit, right? That's what we said. Plus, there's going to be some monthly payments, right? In this case, the deposit is 10% of the price, which is 10% of 696, as well as 15 payments of $45. All right. So this is what you would pay if you were paid higher purchase. And they want to know how much more is the higher purchase price than the cash price. So we know the cash price already. The cash price is up here, right? So we're going to have to find out the higher purchase price now and then subtract them. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do 10% of 696. 10% of that is 10 over 100 times 696 over 1. That works out to be 669.6, and then plus 15 times 45.
75. No,
675.
695, sorry.
75 or 95?
Hold on, miss.
75, 675.
Okay.
675.
All right, great. And then we would add that
Plus
69.6. When you add that, what do you get? 744.
$744.60.
744.60. So this is a higher purchase price, right? So now if you want to find out what's the difference between both of them, you can subtract this 744 from 696, and I think your answer would be 48.6. Is that what you get? That's what you
Yes,
got?
miss.
I didn't work mine out.
No, you're not, no one else saying that.
I didn't work
Yes,
mine.
miss. That's what I got.
Okay, what do you think? You did the work yours like that?
I didn't work it out.
Oh, you did work it out. Okay.
Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
trying to find another one. One last one for us to do. Not profit and loss. Higher purchase before and we'll just wrap it up there and continue on, when is that? Continue on Monday. All right, so I'm going to read one for you. I'm not seeing any more in this document, so I'm just going to read one for you. So let's just write it down. You can just write down the important portion. So it says, uh, doing the wrong thing. Doing profit and loss. It's a higher purchase. All right. Um, I'm looking for a question to give you, so we can wrap it up. But not finding a proper question. There are no more profit and loss questions in this document, it seems. All right, so you know what? It's 11:49. We're just going to, yeah, we're going to stop there for today. And I'll have Sir send some questions in the group that you can work through, and then we can work, you're going to work through those for homework, and we're going to go through those same questions at the beginning of the class on Monday. So we're going to work, they're going to be a little bit more difficult than what we've done today, but same principles, work with them at the beginning of the class, and then we're going to go through a couple more consumer arithmetic concepts on Monday. So let's leave it there for today. By the end of the day, Sir will send you those questions, all right?
Okay, Miss. Miss, can you
Okay,
also
okay.
ask him to send the slides that you were using? Or you normally send
You
to
said
me?
what?